What is up, guys? It's your boy Build Crafting Cactus, and today we have an unbelievably powerful hunter build to showcase. This is one of the best builds you could be playing in the entirety of Destiny 2 the Final Shape right now, because your melees are capable of one-shotting basically everything other than bosses, and then when you do melee something, it's going to explode with the radius of a small nuclear bomb. Oh, and on top of that, while you're doing that, you have insane survivability and constant healing. Sound good? Well, it's pretty unbelievable to play, and so let's get started. But first, for this and future build crafting videos, I've partnered with Mobalytics. They are your #1 source for Destiny 2 build crafting information. Guys, everything you need to know about the build we cover in this video is going to be on their website in a perfectly laid out, easy to understand format, including dim links. It's only one click away down in the description, so definitely check it out after you're done watching the video so you know how the heck this build actually works. Now, very importantly, it's actually going to be easy to make this build, but hard to make the best version of this build. Now, why is that? Well, we are going to be using the brand new exotic hunter cloak, Relativism. However, we are going to be mainly relying on only one of its possible exotic perks, and that's going to be Spirit of the Liar. We're dealing damage with a powered melee or being hit by a melee attack will allow you to follow up with an extremely powerful arc melee counterpunch. And that means you can put together this exact build with the original Liar's Handshake exotic gauntlets if you haven't been lucky enough to get a good exotic hunter cloak. But again, it's just going to be more and more and more powerful depending on the better and better version and eventually the best version of that exotic hunter cloak that you can eventually get. But we mainly need Spirit of the Liar or the Liar's Handshake. Now, why is that? So let's take a look at our subclass layout. We are playing Prismatic, and most importantly, we need Combination Blow as our melee. So what this is going to do is defeating targets with this ability is going to fully restore your class ability and give you a small amount of health. And then for our class ability, we need Gambler's Dodge, where if you dodge near an enemy, it will recharge your melee ability. So you can already see the combo we're putting together. Every time you get a kill, you get your dodge back. When you do your dodge near an enemy, you get your melee back. So we basically have infinite melees into infinite dodges. So for our aspects, we're going to be using, well, Winter Shroud, because we're going to be dodging constantly, we're going to be getting it back constantly, so we might as well be slowing nearby targets when we're doing those dodges, which is obviously fantastic for crowd control. But it gets even better when we look at our second aspect, Stylish Executioner, because whenever we defeat a debuffed enemy, which includes a slowed enemy, we go invisible. So that is kind of the main engine for this combo, is that we are constantly getting melee kills, we are constantly slow dodging, we are constantly going invisible. Now, after that, our grenade is Grapple, and I'll explain why in a second, and the key fragments are going to be Facet of Protection for more survivability, Facet of Courage so that your Arc, Solar, and Void abilities deal increased damage to targets afflicted with darkness debuffs. Well, Slow is a darkness debuff, so we're going to do more damage with our arc melee. It's just a no-brainer. And then we have Facet of Blessing for health regeneration while we are getting those melee kills. Yes, Combination Blow provides a little bit, but Facet of Blessing is going to provide much more. It's just going to really help you stay alive. Now, a lot of the other stuff doesn't really make a lot of sense until we look in the second perk of the Relativism Cloak, and that's going to be Spirit of Caliban. Powered melee, final blows, trigger, and ignition. This is what makes this build go from incredible to absolutely broken. Because guys, the melee counter punches count as a powered melee. If you just have that combination blow timer, it seemingly counts as a powered melee. You're going to see in the background gameplay, every single enemy I melee is going to explode with an ignition. This turns what would be a melee build into like an explosive, incredible ad clearing build. It's like running around and being your own dragon's breath. Like you just blow everything up around you. And now when we go back to these fragments, they make a bit more sense. Mainly, we have Facet of Ruin, which is going to improve the area of effect of solar ignitions. And then we also do have Facet of Purpose, where picking up an Orb of Power will give you one of a myriad of good benefits. Like, because I'm using Silence and Squall, it's going to give us a little bit more Frost Armor for survivability. It's also very good with Golden Gun, giving you Radiant. It's just a good overall fragment. But those are the different fragments we are going to be using here, and that is also why we're using Grapple, because the melee grapple counts for Spirit of Caliban. So if you kill a guy with the melee grapple, they will ignite and explode. Like, it is absolutely bonkers, guys. So what are we using for our weaponry? Well, honestly, the only thing you really need is going to be a shotgun with 1-2 punch, right? That's it. That is going to let you get that 1-2 punch and then follow up with either the combination blow melee or the liar's melee and just absolutely nuke enemies. And you've been seeing that background gameplay. I mean, this mini boss right here gets absolutely folded with a 1-2 punch follow-up melee, one shot. It does 130,000 damage. And I actually went and looked at what the initial combination blow, when I had no buffs, just what it first did in terms of damage to get the combo started, and it was around 6,000 damage. So guys, that is a 2,050% melee damage increase when I have combination blow times 3 plus 1-2 punch, and that's on the low end. I didn't even slow this guy. So remember, my arc melee would do even more damage. That's how insane this build can get. 2,000% melee is at the low end of what we can possibly do. That is just crazy. Now, in terms of some other weapons, if you're wondering about running, again, like something like the Sunshot, just for some good ad clearing, is going to be a pretty good option if you just want a backup to your shotgun. You could run a sword, something with Eager Edge, just to get around, like to put you in a position so that you're near those enemies you need to start chaining off on. But again, it's really just the 1-2 punch shotgun. The rest of your weaponry can be whatever the heck you want. Now, in terms of what we're doing for our armor mods. So, for the helmet, importantly, we want hands-on, obviously. Bonus super energy on melee kills, just incredible here, as you can imagine. Also, Dynamo reduces super cooldown when we're using our class ability near targets, which, again, we have an infinitely regenerating class ability. All we need is a melee kill. So Dynamo is absolutely absurd here. And that's kind of the reason as to why I'm using Silence and Squall, is that you're getting your super so fast with this build. Silence is just great to throw out and forget about. You know, I don't need to aim with Golden Gun. I don't need to like look for powerful targets. I just throw out my Silence and Squall and it does its thing, right? Now, on top of that, for the gauntlets here, we have Focusing Strike, and we also have Impact Induction for more regen, and then really importantly though, the main one is Heavy-Handed for just a massive amount of orbs of power. We could have 2 Heavy-Handeds that would actually be good if you can fit it in to your gauntlets here. Now, for the chest piece, it's just going to be whatever resistances you need depending on the activity you're actually doing. Then, for the leg armor here, guys, we kind of just have an interesting assortment of stuff. Kinetic Scavenger, why? Because we have a kinetic shotgun. So whatever shotgun you have of whatever element, probably just put on a Scavenger, because you always do want that shotgun ammo so you can 1-2 punch. Then we have Absolution and Recuperation. We honestly don't really need Absolution. We probably could use better already for survivability. It's really up to you. And then on the actual class item, we have a Reaper. Again, we are just class ability spamming non-stop, so this is unbelievable here. We also have a bomber, and frankly 2 bombers would also be good, but then we really don't have a sync for our armor charge, so I did decide to put on a special ammo finisher, right? Because again, we really want to have that shotgun ammo, and so having the ability to, oh my goodness, I'm running out, or I have like 2 more shots, I'm going to finish someone, I'm going to get some special ammo here, and I'm going to continue the chain. That is overall a great idea. But guys, yeah, that is going to be the actual loadout for the build. Now, as for your artifact perks, well, we do have some important ones for sure. We absolutely want Radiant Orbs, right? We're using Prismatic, and that means picking up those orbs are going to make you Radiant. And that's another reason as to why we're using Silence plus Facet, because Facet you don't need if you have this artifact perk and you have Golden Gun, right? Because they're going to do the same thing. So we might as well get that Frost Armor survivability, right? Now, after that, another great one here, we want Galvanic Armor. It's going to reduce the incoming damage when we're amplified, which we are going to become amplified every once in a while, so not a bad one here. And then Shield Crush while you're amplified or Radiant, and again, we're always Radiant because of Radiant Orbs. Your grenade recharges faster. Now the deals increased damage isn't going to matter, but just going to let you like do that grapple melee more often. And again, grapple is just going to put you closer to enemies faster, going to let you close the gap so you can start chaining off a lot better. And those are kind of the main ones we're looking for here. And so guys, there you have it. If you are lucky enough to get a Hunter Exotic Cloak with Spirit of the Liar and frankly anything else relevant, put this build together. But really, if you do get Spirit of Caliban as well, oh my goodness. Like, it is actually absurd. A melee should not be doing this much in terms of damage, ad clearing. Like, I don't know, man. This is pretty bonkers. But hey, we got these new exotic class items, so we might as well use them. Guys, that's going to be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.